All right, so this is the class we've got today, a bit of stretching. I haven't really decided on sun salutations yet, but let's just see what happens. That's always nice. Here's how I want to start. So you can have a wall, you can have a sideboard, you can have the back of a stable chair or something. Can you put your hands either on the wall or on the sideboard or on the back of a chair? We're at a 90-degree angle here. And so you inhale, and if you find your hands are a little bit far away, okay, step back. It doesn't have to be directly 90 degrees, it doesn't have to. It's a downward facing dog, but not on the floor. So you inhale, and with your exhalation, so inhalation is a bit of lightness, exhalation, a bit of heaviness, and you can feel the chest draw up towards the floor. And then with your inhalation, feel the back ribs expanding. And so lightness comes with your inhalation. And then exhale, you're falling through the arms, through the arms, through the arms. It's the whole of the back of the body we're doing here. So inhale, a little bit of lightness. Be a breathing thing, not a concrete thing. And then exhale. See if your chest will drop down, your head will drop through beyond your arms. And see what you're feeling here. And inhale. And empty the lungs, exhale. So I'll tell you what I've got going on here. I've got calves, that's one thing. I've got upper back is going on. I've got back of the pelvis. So I've got to kind of yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, no. Doesn't make sense. It makes sense to my body. Just inhale, a little bit of lightness. Exhale, a little bit of softness. Stretching the arms now, biceps, I can do all the biceps now. A couple more like that, inhale. Empty the lungs, exhale, dropping down a little bit more. Stretch will change, the more breaths we do, the more the change will come from this area to that area. Inhale. And then exhale. Okay, so that's quite a lot of stretch. Bend your knees and you can push the wall away. And then just come up, a little roundness in there. So just circle the shoulders. It's quite a lot to begin with. And then go the other way. Where are you feeling it? So I'm feeling it up in the upper back, but if you're feeling it in the neck, just drop your head to the side. Drop this head to the other side. And you can drop your chin down. I don't like the one where you take your gaze up and drop your head back. I don't like that one. All right, I'm going to do the same thing again, but not as extreme. Right foot forward, left foot back. So now we're getting back into more into the back of the leg. And so put your hands on wherever you have them. So this is nice. Just using your hands on the wall and dropping down. So here's what might happen with your hands. Your hands might stay there. They might come down the wall a little bit. They might go to the floor, or you might have blocks. We've got options here. We've got options. And you fill up the lungs, there's that lightness. And then exhale. So a little bit of heaviness in the torso. You might feel a little bit of extra stretch in the legs. Your hands can come down a little bit. And you inhale. So you're not going to be feeling the same thing in the arms and the upper back. And then exhale and soften and soften and soften. It's really just about folding over the leg. The hands on the wall, I suppose that's for stability really. You can have the hands on the floor or on blocks. You can have the hands on the shin, but I don't really like introducing an element of stability, an element of balancing. I like to have the hands stable. So you inhale a little bit of lightness. Exhale a little bit of softness. Do that again, inhale. Empty the lungs, exhale. How's it feeling? Where are you feeling this? Inhale, bit of calf, bit of back of the knee. Any hamstring going on, bit of glutes. All right, and so you bend your knee a lot, push into the foot a lot, and come up. And let's do the other side. So it's your right foot back, left foot forward, right foot back. So have your hands, where are you happy to put your hands? All is good. If you've got a sofa, that's good. If you've got a bolster or blocks, that's good. And also, let me just mention, the right foot isn't directly behind the left foot. That's not going to work. This is a hamstring stretch. Pyramid pose. Inhale. The lightness, and then exhale, just softness, a little bit more folding. Your inhalation takes you out of the fold just a little bit. Exhalation takes you back into the fold, just a little bit. Inhale, ribcage expand. Exhale, everything softens. Inhale. That's where all the benefits of the yoga practice come from. Nice long inhalation, nice long, gentle, smooth, even exhalation. And fill up the lungs. Hands can be wherever they like, maybe the hands in the room. Empty the lungs. And see where you're feeling with. Is it all in one place? Is it all in the calf? Is it all in the hamstring? I've got a hamstring on this side, I didn't have it on the other side. I had roots on the other side, I don't have it on this side. Fill up the lungs. So at least yoga, we can learn about the body, see what's going on. All right, so bend the left knee, push into the foot, pull the belly in, come up. Shake it up, shake it up. So while we're standing up, let's do the quad here. So put your left hand on the wall. This is another one. I know you can turn it into a balanced posture, but why would you? We're trying to focus just on the quad. So let's have the stability, hand on the wall, reach behind you, grab hold of your right foot. All right, this isn't a stretch. So we need to point the knee directly down to the mat. Down, 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 down. And just when you think it couldn't point down even more, think about the knee trying to reach the floor. And just notice your torso. Notice if the torso is trying to tilt forward. Can you lift up the torso? Can you lift up the ribcage? Up, 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 up. Sternum is going up, knee is going down. So your knee is trying to reach the mat. That's what it's trying to reach. Inhale. Empty the lungs, exhale. So if you've been doing a lot of anything, a lot of sitting, a lot of running, a lot of cycling, a lot of anything, you'll feel this. Fill up the lungs. Empty the lungs. Just breathing into that stretch. You imagine that your lungs are there. It's a really strange idea, but it works. You inhale, and you imagine that area expanding and expanding. And then you exhale, and you imagine that area softening and softening and softening. There's one more thing that you can look at in this posture. Just stay there and I'll show you. Just think about your tailbone and see if you can point it down a bit more. That's the same thing as saying, see if you can lift your hips up a little bit more. That's kind of the same thing as saying, draw your lower abdominals in a bit more. You're trying to tilt the pelvis in the other direction. So the knee is going in that direction, everything else is going in the other direction. Fill up the lungs. Empty the lungs. Oh. All right, and then put the foot down, shake it out. I want to come back to that. I'm going to come back to that. So not the last time we're addressing that. So the right hand is on the wall, pick up the left foot. When you pick up the left foot, that's the definition of not stretching. All right, point the knee directly down to the mat. And just notice what happens with the torso when you do that. So the knee is trying to reach the floor. Try and make the whole leg heavier, and the knee is trying to reach the floor. And then what happens to the torso? Can you lift the torso up, 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 up? The knee is pointing down, the ribcage is coming up. Fill up the lungs. Empty the lungs, reach the knee down, reach the knee down. Fill up the lungs in here. It's a nice way of doing the quad. Because all the ways of doing quads are nice. Such a big muscle group. It needs a lot of attention. All right, stay there and now bring your attention to your hips. And just think about tilting them backwards, which means the tailbone going down, hips coming up. Our abdominals drawing in. It might not be much, it might not even be a millimeter, but that'll be more stretch. A couple more breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. Knee is trying to reach the floor. Nice long inhalation. Lovely long exhalation. All right, and then put the foot down. I'm going to shake it out, shake it out. Here's something we're going to do on the floor, but we're going to do it this way up first of all. Interlace your fingers and take a stretch. Your left hand is going to hold onto your right wrist. Reach it up to the ceiling, and then you lean over to your left. You're taking your right wrist over to the left. Come back up to center, stay there. But can you take your right foot and cross it behind your left foot? Actually, it's not the feet that are crossing, it's your thighs. It's your thighs. So the weight is equal, it's fairly equal. Reach up again. Still going over to your left. Lean over to your left. Fill up the lungs. So with your inhalation, you're still reaching up, you're still lengthening. And exhale, just a little bit of softening over to the left. I'm going to do this on the floor. I'm going to hold it a little bit longer. Come up, uncross the legs, just do a little shoulder roll. Banana shape posture. Interlace your fingers and reach up. Lovely. Your right hand is going to hold on to your left wrist. Reach up a bit more and then over, 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 over. So in a class of say 30, 40 people, there are so many different angles, so many different bodies doing different things. It's really entertaining. Come back up. It's your left foot. So your left thigh crosses behind your right thigh. This is like a 6-year-old boy that wants to go to the toilet. Inhale, reach up. And then you lean over to your right again, over to your right. Can you feel that the stretch might have moved a little bit further down around the hip area? Fill up the lungs. One more like that. Lengthening with your inhalation. A bit more softness with your exhalation. All right, and then come back up. Shake it up, shake it up, shake it up. That's just a lot of effort. Let's lie down and do the same thing. Lie down on the mat. So your feet are on the floor and your knees are up to the ceiling. And so you push your feet down, you lift up your pelvis, you move it over to the left. Move it to the left? No, sorry, move it over to the right. So you've lifted up your pelvis, move it to the right and put it down. So we're stretching the right side of the body first. So your hips are on the right side of the mat. Straighten your legs over to the left side of the mat. So your right foot is coming over to your left foot. All right, so that's half the body is in banana shape. And let's see what we can do with the top of the body. Can you press your elbows down? Can you just slide your rib cage a little bit, it's not much, over to the left side of the mat. So what have we got? We've got the feet on the left side. The head is over towards the left side. The hips are on the right side. Let's just have a look at the feet. Can you lift up your left foot and hook it onto the right foot? The left foot is the outside foot. And put it onto the left foot. So I quite like that one. That kind of fixes it in place. That's quite a nice way to be. Just make sure that your hips haven't moved over, that you're still fairly square to the floor. So that's the softer way of doing this posture. You can put the left foot back, pick up the right foot, put the right ankle on the left ankle. If that's made you tip in any way, you might want to start with the other foot first. It looks to me, when I watch a class, most people like this version. The right foot on the left. All right, reach your hands up above you. Reach your hands up above you. Your left hand is taking hold of your right wrist and reaching it over to the left. And there you have your banana shape posture. And you inhale. You breathe into the right side. And you exhale. Oh, this is less effort. So now you just think about the right rib cage. Expand the right side. And then you empty the lungs and exhale. And you fill up the lungs. Nice long exhalation. Do another couple here. Think about the right rib cage, feel the right rib cage expanding. I have a teacher that says breathe into the right lung. Why not? And then empty the lungs and exhale. Just notice where you're feeling this. So I'm feeling a rib cage. I'm also feeling right across the top of the hip, not the side, the top. Just notice, because it'll surely feel different on the other side. So one more here. Inhale. Empty the lungs, exhale. All right, so bring your arms down. Bend your knees and put the feet onto the floor. Lift up the pelvis, come back into the middle. And then you can bring the knees into the chest and you can just do a little bit of roll from side to side, massage your back. Massage your back. Let's do the other side. Feet on the floor, knees up to the ceiling. Lift up the hips, move over to the left. Left this time, left. Put the hips down. Straighten out the legs to the right side of the mat. So your left foot is visiting the right. And before we do anything else, can you make sure that you're not tipping? Can you try and get your pelvis flat on the floor? And then can you just a little bit of walking your rib cage over to the right side of the mat. Press your elbows down. So this doesn't have to be too much because we've got the arms to add as well. All right, just wait here. And let's see what we want to do with the feet. So without moving anything, I'm really feeling this. All right, so you can pick up your right foot, the outside foot, and put it onto the left. So that's going to fix the left foot in place, and that might be useful for you. That might be enough. Fill up the lungs. Empty the lungs. You can try cross the legs in the other direction, see if that suits you. Just notice if you've tipped a little bit, try and make sure the pelvis is flat on the floor. All right, reach your hands up above your head. Your right hand takes hold of your left wrist and you move it over to the right side of the mat. Don't worry about how much. We're not looking for 90-degree angles in the waist here. It's just a banana shape. When you inhale. Empty the lungs, exhale. For me, this side is totally different. It's a totally other body. It's not ribcage at all, it's waist. Breathe into the left side, the left ribcage. Empty the lungs, exhale. Expand, expand, expand. Just think about the left side of the ribcage. Expanding there and then softening and softening, softening, softening. Inhale. Oh, the stretch is moving a little bit for me now. A little lower. And fill up the lungs and inhale. Nice long inhalation, nice long exhalation. Inhale, you're breathing with sound. Exhale, you're breathing with sound. And then one more like that. Inhale. Breathe into your left side, breathe into the left lung. Then empty the lungs, exhale. All right, and then bring your arms down beside you. Lovely. Put your feet onto the floor and your knees up to the ceiling. Put your pelvis back into the middle, knees into the chest, roll from side to side. Massage your back. Massage your back. All right, so keep your knees together. Keep your knees fairly close to the chest, arms out to the T. Drop the knees over to the left. And just notice if they stay, the knees stay close, or if they're trying to drift away. If they're trying to drift away, bring them back up towards the chin, back up. And you can put your left hand on your top knee. And now we have to talk about the right shoulder. Is it lifted up? You can just walk your torso to the left side of the mat. This is a lot of twist going on here. So you're trying to flatten your shoulders. And maybe your right hand can be out to the side. So maybe it can be a little bit further up. So maybe it's further towards 10 o'clock, 11. And you might get extra stretch in the right bicep, the armpit, the right side of the rib cage. You might get a little bit more if your hand is a little further to 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock. I can't do that. I get needles and pins. So I'm going to be out to 9 o'clock, if that. If that. You can always bend your elbow and take that arm out of the equation and put your hand onto your rib cage. All of that's good. Pretty much we just want the shoulders flat enough. And then you inhale. And then exhale. There's quite a lot of twist going. Fill up the lungs as you inhale. Empty the lungs and soften, 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 soften. Your knees might be apart, that's no problem at all. It took me a couple of decades to get my knees to close. If you've got a cushion or a block, if the knees are not closing, you could just support them. And you inhale. And empty the lungs, exhale. You should not block or anything in between the knees, bolster with you. Nice long inhalation. Nice long exhalation. Right, and then let's come up. Oh, knees into the chest. Roll from side to side, massage your back. And keep the knees nice and close. All right, and drop the knees over to the right. And you can put your right hand on the top knee. And then what's happening to the left shoulder, is it lifting up? Even for people for whom it's not lifting up, you're totally flat, that's fine. But you can still get more twist out of this by just shimmying your shoulders, walking your shoulders over to the right side of the mat, to the knee side of the mat. So for some of us, that means settling the left shoulder down a bit more. For some of us, that just means a little bit more twist. What are you going to do with the left hand? Is it going to be 3 o'clock? Is it going to be 2 o'clock? Is it going to be 1 o'clock? Feel that extra stretch that you're getting? For me, it's not going to be that at all. You can also bend your elbow and just put your hand into your rib cage. So this needles and pins thing is something I think I just got in my 40s. If not even 10 years ago, I just started. Anyway, you don't work through needles and pins, that's not something you breathe through, you just cancel that. That's all right. And then you fill up the lungs, inhale. Empty the lungs, exhale. And if the knees are a little bit apart, that's okay, no problem at all. Or you can put a pillow in between the knees. Inhale, ribcage expands. Exhale, everything softens. And fill out the lungs. Empty the lungs, nice long, 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 long breathe. And fill out the lungs. Empty the lungs. So important that long breathing. All right, and then come back up. Oh, release into the chest. From side to side, massage your back. I'm going to do another twist, but let's just do something a little bit different. First of all, let's do half happy baby and try and get a little bit of hamstring work going on. So feet on the floor, knees up to the ceiling, right knee into the chest, right elbow on the inside of the knee. Hold onto the foot. So your forearm crosses in front of the shin and hold onto the foot from the outside of the foot and then show the sole of the foot up to the ceiling. So that leg is perpendicular to the floor, it's going to stay like that. If you can't reach, use a belt or something. Hold onto the belt. Inhale. And then exhale. So you're going to lean slightly close to your armpit. Pull it a little further to the armpit. And then you inhale, go back to neutral, where you started. A few millimeters up, and then exhale, pull down. A couple of millimeters down. Inhale, drift up a little bit. Exhale, draw it down a bit, knee a little closer to the armpit. Inhale, that's your neutral, your inhalation. Exhale, draw it down. That's your hamstring stretch. Inhale. Empty the lungs, exhale. Squeeze it down, squeeze it down. And fill out the lungs, inhale. Let it go a little bit. Come out of intensity, and with your exhalation, you go back into intensity. All right, put it down. Let's do the other leg. Put it down. And then the left knee into the chest, left elbow on the inside of the knee. And so your forearm comes and crosses in front of the shin. Hold onto the foot. And this is your neutral position. Sole of the foot up to the ceiling. Inhale. The knee is fairly close to your armpit. You inhale. And then exhale. Bring your knee a little closer to your armpit. And you inhale a little bit up. Exhale a little bit down. This side's more intense. One will be more intense than the other. Inhale a little bit up, come out of intensity. Exhale a little bit down. Ooh. Inhale up. Exhale. A couple more like that. Inhale. Empty the lungs. Exhale. One more like that. Inhale. Empty the lungs. Exhale. Oh my goodness. That's a stretch. All right, put the feet onto the floor. Slide the feet forward so your legs are flat. And have your feet a little bit more than hip distance apart. And then just do a little bit of winter screen wipers. Just shaking it out, really. So here's what I want to do next. Feet on the floor, knees up to the ceiling. This is going to be pigeon pose, followed by IT band stretch, where you really cross your thighs over each other. So feet on the floor, knees up to the ceiling, right foot up, bend at the knee, outside edge of the foot, right in the middle of the left thigh. Lift up the left leg, interlace the fingers around the left side. Or the knee, all of that's okay. But if your head comes up and your shoulders are quite tense, it doesn't matter. If you're reaching your leg, it doesn't matter, but just put something underneath your head. You might find that your shoulders relax even more. You might want to try it anyway, even if your head is flat on the floor. All of it's good. So we're looking, where is that stretch? It's glute. What else is it? There's a little bit of hamstring. Is there a hint of IT band? Fill up the lungs. Into the lungs with a little bit of a squeeze with your exhalation. A little bit of a squeeze. Inhale. You don't have to put effort into your inhalation. That's gathering energy. That's your anticipation. And then exhale. Squeeze it in. Squeeze. Squeeze. Little squeeze. Just a little extra. Inhale. Empty the lungs. Exhale. So you might start with your hands around the thigh. You might wait a couple of breaths to put your hands around the shin, just above the knee. So here's what we're going to do here. You can let go with your hands, and you can slide the right leg over the left leg. And so you end up, you can even use your hands to help you cross the legs even more. Cross, pull, cross, pull. So your right thigh is really over your left thigh. And then here's what we'll do. Put your hands just below your knees. And you inhale. And then exhale, squeeze it. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And can you feel the right side? There's still a bit of glute. Inhale, let go a little bit. And then exhale, right in the middle. This is more IT band. The outside edge of the leg. Inhale, let it go a little bit. Your hands can be below your knees or midway down your shins. Inhale, and then exhale, squeeze it in. That parts your feet a little bit. That might be a bit more intensity. You inhale. Here's your third option. You take the first two fingers, wrap them around your big toes. Feet are the same height as your knees. Inhale. And then exhale. Pull the knees towards the shoulders, like a row. One of those. Inhale. Exhale. Squeeze it in. Anywhere there. Your hands could be anywhere there. It'll target the same place. And you inhale. Empty the lungs. Exhale. Squeeze it in. Squeeze. You inhale. Gather in your air, gather in your energy. Exhale, squeeze it in. This is longer than your inhalation. Your exhalation is longer. You just linger a little bit here. Little extra squeeze. One more, inhale. And then empty the lungs, exhale. Release. Put your feet onto the floor. Knees up to the ceiling. Just do a little shake. A little shake of the legs. Pigeon pose on the left foot. Left side. Bend at the knee. Outside edge of the foot. Right on the right side. Lift up the right leg. And so maybe your hands go underneath your thigh. Maybe your hands are already around your shin. Maybe your head is up and you put something underneath your head. It's not a one-size-fits-all yoga, isn't it? You just need to adjust for everybody. Inhale. Empty the lungs. Exhale. Relax the shoulders and the arms. Maybe that pulls the right knee a little further towards the shoulder. Maybe that's a bit of extra stretch. And then inhale. Come out of intensity and then exhale. Go back into intensity. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze. So maybe your hands are around your side. Maybe you move your hands a little further forward. Some people do, some people don't. And you inhale. Exhale, little squeeze, little extra squeeze. It's long inhalation. And then your exhalation is longer than your inhalation. You linger there. It's a little bit of lingering of that stretch. And then one more like that. Inhale. Empty the lungs, exhale. Ooh. All right, so you're going to let go with your hands. You're going to slide the left leg all the way over the right leg. And you're going to cross at the thighs. But you could always cross more. You could use your hands to get more of the right leg underneath the left leg, more of the left leg over the right leg. And bend your knees. Your hands can start off on your shins, top of the shins, just below the knee. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze it in, squeeze. Fill up the lungs. Empty the lungs, squeeze it in. And you inhale, and if that's enough for you, so we've got quite a lot of glute going on, a little IT band. Stay there if you want to, or move your hands a little further down the shin. Inhale. And then exhale and squeeze. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And you inhale. Stay there if you want to, or take the first two fingers, wrap them around the big toes. Have the knees and the feet in a straight line. Inhale. And then exhale, you can pull the feet towards the shoulders, like a row. Alright, so you do one of those. You inhale. Exhale. Squeeze it in, squeeze. Inhale, let it go a little bit. Exhale, draw it in a little bit. Ooh. Couple more like that, inhale. And then exhale, squeeze it in. One more like that, inhale. Exhale, squeeze. Ah. All right, and put the feet down. Oh, let's slide the legs forward. Oh, and let's just shake it out. So your feet are a little bit wider than your hips, and then toes together, away. Just flapping in and out. Flapping in and out. Right, let's do this. Roll yourself up. Put one ankle over the other. Roll yourself up. I want to do quads again. And I want to do calves again. All right, so come onto your hands and knees. We'll start with calves. Let's start with the left foot. So bring the left ball of the foot beside the right knee. We're in the same line here. All right. And so you've got your right calf behind you. So sit back on your calf. You're sitting on your haunches. Haunch. Okay.
So we're going to be targeting the left calf muscle. All right, so your torso is pretty much trying to center over your upper thigh. And then you're going to reach forward and tilt. You're reaching forward, reaching forward. Can you feel your left heel coming off of the floor? Not too much. You just feel it lifted off of the floor. The weight on your torso at the top of your leg is pushing you in that direction. But your heel is still reaching down towards the floor. It's not too much weight, it's just a bit of reach, which is pushing your knee forward. You might be getting an extra back stretch as well. Your heel is just lifted off of the mat just a tiny bit. Find that stretch, and now you breathe. You inhale. Empty the lungs, exhale. Just a nice, easy calf stretch. Oh, maybe not that easy. Inhale. Empty the lungs, exhale. Just a tiny bit of lift. Not even enough for my hand, my fingers. Inhale. Hands reaching forward, the heel reaching towards the floor. One more like that. Inhale. Empty the lungs. It's quite an intense one, huh? It's quite intense. All right, come onto your hands and knees. You know what we can do with this leg, with the left leg? Straighten the leg out behind you, tuck the toes under, and you can just pulse. Just pulse. Just push into your heel. It's just gentle. Just gentle. All right, so let's do the other side. So from your hands and knees, you're bringing your right foot beside your left knee. And then you're going to sit back. You're sitting on your left leg, and the right foot is flat, but not for long. So your torso is over your right leg, your right thigh. And then you reach forward, forward. Can you start to bring your attention to the Achilles? Forward, forward. Can you feel the heel lifting? Forward, forward, forward. All right, that's where it is. Your heel is lifted a tiny bit. Your hands are reaching forward, which means your torso is quite heavy on your knee. Your right knee, your right thigh. Fill up the lungs. Empty the lungs. Next long inhalation. And with your exhalation, maybe a little bit heavier. You don't have to. You're aware of the heel reaching down towards the floor, the knee reaching forward. Where you're getting the calf stretch. Is it Achilles? Is it lower calf? Is it more than that? Fill up the lungs. This is one of the stretches from the teacher of Ryan Giggs, the yoga teacher of Ryan Giggs. So she teaches this to footballers. Oh, now I can feel the stretch coming up the side a little bit more. Couple more breaths here. Fill up the lungs. Empty the lungs. One more like that. All right, bring your weight onto your hands. Come back onto your hands and knees. And you can straighten out your right leg and just do some gentle pulsing. Just gentle. Gentle, gentle. All right, let's do downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under, push back, and you can just do a nice, easy little walk. Gentle walk. All right, so knees down. I want to do the hip flexor, but I also want to take the muscle, the stretch back into the main belly of the muscle. Can you have your bolster behind you? And if not, can you have a couple of blocks or a couple of books behind you? So I'll show you what we're going to do. So you're going to take your padding and put it underneath your left knee and your right foot comes forward. So we're going to just do the stretch here. We're going to do it a second time with the foot lifted. And see if that gets us further down into the muscle. So this is a halfway point in between having the foot on the floor and lifting the foot all the way up. So we're just going to see what that's like. So first of all, nice and easy, it's how we usually do this posture. So your foot is on the floor, your right foot is forward, your hands are on the hips, you slide the thumbs back, you fill up the lungs, and then empty the lungs. Just send the right knee forward. Inhale up, inhale. And then exhale forward, exhale. Inhale up. Can that foot come a little further forward? And then exhale. Just sinking down, sinking down, sinking down. Inhale up. Come out of intensity and exhale. You go back into intensity. And then one more like that. Inhale. And exhale. Ooh. All right, and then come up. Let's swap sides, other side. So pad up underneath your right knee. Left foot forward. Hands onto your hips. Slide your thumbs back so your thumbs touch your spine. And if the thumbs climb up the back a little bit, up the spine a little bit, lift up your heart a little bit more. Inhale. And then exhale. So the left knee forward, just drop down. Ooh. Inhale, up, inhale. Exhale, forward, exhale. Inhale, up. Exhale, forward, exhale. Third one, a little bit heavy. A little bit more intensity. Inhale, up, inhale. Exhale, forward, exhale. Where are you feeling it on this side? Top, middle, inner thigh. One more, inhale. And then exhale. All right, and then come up. All right, take your left foot back. So you pad up underneath your left knee, but you have your foot a little bit raised. And the right foot comes forward. So I'm experimenting with this. I quite like it for myself as well. I've taught it in the studio here. I quite like this because picking up the foot is too much for most people. And then for most people, you don't get much movement, and it's all about balance, and it's all about other things. So this is a halfway house. See if you like it. Inhale, fill up the lungs. And then exhale, send the right knee forward, drop the hips down. Oh, this is already so much more in the body of the muscle. Inhale up, inhale. Exhale forward, exhale. Oh, good grief. Inhale up, inhale. Exhale forward, exhale. Dropping down, dropping down. Inhale up. Can you feel the difference between the first one we did and this one? Exhale forward, exhale. Elbows back, heart up. One more, inhale. Exhale. All right, and then come up. And then put your hands down. Let's do the other side. So you pad up underneath your right knee and your right foot is raised. What about the left foot? So the foot isn't directly underneath the knee. It can be a little further forward. Inhale. Exhale. Let's see what this side has to say for itself. It's saying quite a lot. Inhale up, inhale. Exhale forward, exhale. One side is more intense than the other. One side easier. Inhale up, inhale. Exhale forward, exhale. Inhale up. Exhale forward, exhale. Oh my goodness. Inhale up, inhale. Exhale forward, exhale. So, I hope that works for you. For me, there's so much more intensity without the extra work of holding onto the foot. This one works. All right, come up, put your hands down. Take the left foot back, just a little bit of downward facing dog.
Just walk it out, just get a nice stretch, walk it out here. You can bend your knees and push your bottom back. You can encourage the heels down, just a little bit of walking. Let's get one more calf stretch while we're here. Bend your left knee and push your right heel down. Push your bottom back. Up the lungs. Empty the lungs. And change sides, bend your right knee, push your left heel down. Inhale. Exhale. Lovely long inhalation. Lovely long exhalation. All right. Put your knees down, swing your legs around. Have your bolster close to you. If not a bolster, then blocks. If not blocks, then a couple of dictionaries. Complete works of Shakespeare. All right, feet onto the floor, knees up to the ceiling. Lift up your hips. Move the bolster underneath your hips. You can just adjust your shoulders and see that you're nice and steady on your shoulders. See what it's like to straighten your legs. So that's not going to suit everybody completely straight. That might be, there's quite a lot of stretch across the front there, across the hips. So if you need a little bit of bend in the knee and the feet on the floor, you can do that. And if you completely straighten your legs, do that. You can have your arms overhead if you want. And make sure the bolster or your books or your blocks are closer to your tailbone. Closer to your tailbone. And now soft, gentle, silent breathing. Step out of the way. Having controlled the breath for most of the hour. Step out of the way now. Watch the breath doing its own thing. Watch the breath doing its own thing. Watch how long the body thinks the inhalation should be. Watch how long the body thinks the exhalation should be. Does the body do it when you're not watching? Look at the movement of the abdomen and the rib cage. They come back to natural yet? You're still intervening. It's hard to let go of control. All right. Put your feet onto the floor, your knees up to the ceiling. Lift up your hips, move the bolster, put the back of the body down, and then knees into the chest. Roll from side to side, massage your back. All right, if you don't have a bolster, if you don't have bricks, you can just straighten your legs. If you have a bolster, that's pretty lucky. Can you put the bolster at the top of your mat? And so you're going to lie, half of your back is going to be on the bolster. So that's only the rib cage part of your back. The lumbar spine, the bendy part of the spine is totally free. And then you put your head down. If the chin is jutting up too high, just put a cushion or a block. And then let your arms relax out to the side. And this is where you invite gravity to come along and take your shoulders and draw your shoulders back. Draw your shoulders back. Relax your arms. Relax your arms. Now your rib cage is quite high and quite obvious, and so it's nice to watch your gentle breathing there. Silent breathing. doing its own thing now. And notice your exhalations, nice and short, natural. No intervention. And notice your body responding to the exhalation. Letting go. A bit more, letting go. A bit more, dialing down a little bit more. Each exhalation, letting go just a tiny bit more. Tiny bit more. Notice your shoulders just letting go. Letting go, letting go. Notice also the flare in your ribcage. Tell the front ribs, drop down. Drop down. Drop down. Let your arms be heavier. Your shoulders be heavy. The front ribs a little heavy. Each exhalation, dialing down just another tiny bit more. It's such a good posture here in a bolster. It's a counter posture to life. Life brings you forward, brings your shoulders forward. And in this posture, we're trying to take it all back. All right, interlace your fingers. Give yourself a stretch. While you're stretching, point your toes, flex your heels, point your toes, flex your heels. All right, just cross your legs, put your hands down onto the floor, lift yourself up into cross-legged position. Ooh, namaste, namaste.